Hey survivors, welcome to the channel. So we're going to talk about do all narcissists cheat? Feel free to interact with each other, ask some questions, and I see some people already here. So good to have you guys. And I'm going to tell you something that's kind of crazy. I just posted a little short and I had said something to my viewers, Merry Christmas. So I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but I already got like somebody who didn't like it. And that's fine. I think I got 2 likes and 1 dislike within, you know, first few minutes of me posting it. And that's fine. I can handle the dislikes. But basically, all I said was Merry Christmas. So I realize not everybody celebrates Christmas, but it's kind of crazy that we can't just share some happiness. If it doesn't relate to you, I let things pass me by if somebody says Happy Hanukkah or whatever. And the way people interact, it's kind of like, unless you're exactly the same as them, you can't be yourself. So I get it. I get it. I think I said Merry Christmas. I didn't go back and watch it. I might have said Happy Holidays. I kind of interchanged the two. It was a Christmas background. But good to see you guys. I don't know if you guys can do me a quick favor before we get started. Comment below if you're seeing this in replay. I just want to make sure that these are being recorded correctly. But do all narcissists cheat? Um, Cheating can happen in different ways. We're also going to talk about why they might cheat. Feel free to let me know your story. I can kind of help you dissect it to truly understand it. But there are things like emotional cheating. Some people feel that porn is cheating. And a lot of times with porn addiction, changes your brain chemistry. The way that the porns are made, they kind of zero in on the certain parts. And they also change expectations of, what either your person should be or what their partner should be. And, uh, it changes the way people view themselves, the way they view other people. It's also something super quick, and they're taking away time from the person that they should be spending time with. And based on their self esteem, hello, I'm not sure how to say your name, Courtworth. I don't know how to say your name. I'll call you QT. I see a Q and a T in there. Unless you can tell me how quit with, I don't know. That is it really? Court work? Is it really? I've never heard that. Is that from a certain place? Like, is that an American interpretation of somewhere else? That's fantastic. I've never heard that. Um, so, I always try to say people's names the right way because that's who you are. And sometimes people will overlook that, like, oh, you said it wrong, and they don't correct people. So we're talking about cheating, and feel free to interact. So we started talking about the emotional cheating that can happen, and it starts to feel a little bit off when with a narcissist, and things start to snowball after that. Also, too, with a narcissist, they love to hold grudges. They love to do the silent treatment, so it occupies their time, and it can be quite destructive to a relationship. Being with a narcissist and the discard, the devaluation stage, isn't the same as if you were with a healthier person. Usually, you acknowledge the different things. Hi, John. Good to see you. I just had some coffee too. I just had some coffee too. And I work at the school. I got a really nice Christmas gift from one of the kids. It was to Starbucks, so nice little coffee mug. So I think I'll have some real coffee. And then we have Courtward, John, and Tony. Tony says, "Greetings, everyone. Good to have you." So feel free to let me know any questions or comments you guys have. But the emotional cheating is taking away time, and it's also setting your relationship with them off balance because they can give only so much emotions and attention to each person. And with this narcissistic cycle of abuse, that we're starting to feel things are wrong. We're starting to want to understand it so we can make it better. It was a cool present. I got quite a few presents today, And we talk about, doing things in our self healing. I've mentioned before that I teach English as a second language after school to some Japanese people, and they are so thankful. Um, but I offered to do it for free. And luckily, I'm getting paid pretty good for it. I didn't expect to get paid. There's some grant where my principal had my back and told me about it. But they were thankful, gave me a gift. They don't celebrate Christmas, but they also acknowledge, that I do. So they gave me a Christmas card, not just a happy holidays, but actually Christmas. And I was there to take care of them. One of their daughters broke her arm, wasn't able to communicate. She stayed in school the entire day with a fully broken arm, not just a cracked arm. So when we take care of other people, they kind of turn around and either show their appreciation. It can be life changing. So Nathan's here too. What's up, everybody? Nate's in the house. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And yeah, your girl Cynthia right here. You've heard teachers are getting. You know what? I'm not sure. Is where nationwide we got a $500 hazard pay during COVID, and I felt so bad. My sister is a nurse practitioner, basically a doctor, and she didn't get any hazard pay. Now, granted, it was hard for us. We had to change the way that we taught, but my sister was basically on the front lines and working long hours, dealing one on one with COVID people. So it was kind of sad. I would have rather my sister got that money. So it was nice they were taking care of the teachers. But so John says, "Hey Nathan, that $1,000 bonus. I'm curious about that. I'll take you guys out to lunch. How's that? Is it knee? I'm just gonna call you knee. Is that how I pronounce it? What's up, guys? I just got here. Good to have you here, Nee. And Nathan, what's up, brother John? Hi, I believe is it Kiri? Hanging out with you guys. And Nee says, yeah, cool. Tony says, what's up, Nathan? You guys are interacting. I love that. It's like Nee. Oh, isn't that sad? I know sometimes, certain names are hard to grow up with. Sometimes, has it affected you in your life when you start like not liking your name? Um, because yeah, it's hard to have to be strong all the time. And I love that you guys, just like John, hey everyone, watching the Grinch. Oh, did you see my Grinch one? Yeah, I just posted a short on the Grinch. It doesn't look like that. Some of them are really popular, some aren't on my shorts. The turkey suit. I have no idea why that's one of my top ones. It's crazy. But yeah, Jim Carrey, yeah. And Jim Carrey, he had like a crazy life. He is so depressed. So sometimes when we look at people like, oh, they're the luckiest person in the world. Um, yeah, he's got STDs, he's got severe depression. I think he has some lawsuits for some stuff. Is funny. Yeah, and me, I agree. And just like Robin Williams, sometimes people sexually transmitted disease. So when you have sex, you can have some different diseases, some sores or some sicknesses, and there's a couple that can be deadly. With him, no, he has one that's not. He has one that's not. It's like a sore that comes back, and I think he might have had some that got cured. But yeah, you got to be careful. And narcissists too, they don't like to tell you the up and up. They'll try to hide it. And I know, yeah. And that's why it's important to protect yourself, get some tests if you are going to be with someone. And Tony says that sucks. Isn't Jim Carrey planning on retiring or something though? Um, I don't know. He was doing a lot of painting. He's kind of expressive in this painting. Um, I don't know. Sometimes I think their mind, this is just my thoughts, could be cyclical on whether or not they want to quit. A lot of rich people go through their money quickly, but I don't. This is just my prediction, or interpretation of Jim Carrey is that he's pretty depressed, and sometimes you get lost in your work, you get adored by people. So he might go back to it here and there, but he also might not feel confident enough to take a lower role. So I don't know. I don't know. How old would he be? 55? I don't know. I was told that girl has an STD. Don't know if that's really true. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to tell. Are people bashing her because they want to keep you guys apart, or is it really true? And a soul survivor. A survivor is when you live and overcome things. You went through a hardship, and a soul is basically who you are, whether it's your religion or your personality, your spirit. Um, it's what leaves when you die, and it's what makes you whole when you're alive. So after we're with a narcissist, we kind of feel like our soul is taken from us, and we don't feel whole. Something's missing in us, and we have to pull ourselves back and regrow. And that's when we're survivors. So it takes some time to get back to what we need to be, um, because it's kind of painful. But the growth mindset, I want to do a video on that, is very important because we can take control of our future. The serenity prayer, where, the things you can change, the things you can't. And um, I have to sing one Christmas carol before. Oh man, I used to be a really good singer. My ears pop now. So some days I'm good. Other days it's not so good. But uh, yeah, I used to be in choral airs where you sing and dance on stage in high school. Give them the old jingle bells. I sing that with the kids at school. I actually sing it. Yep. I dressed up as JoJo Siwa for Halloween, so I pretended to be her. And the holidays that came up are coming up. The kids are losing their minds, and I think about it how I keep talking like the narcissist like is like the kids sometimes, to where certain disruptions in life can cause the narcissist to get off track. And um, where basically my singing voice used to be good, but now my ears, I hear myself breathing. And I sound exactly like my sister on the phone, pretty much. I shouldn't say exactly, but she is like phenomenal. So I could be, but I'm not going to sing tonight. We're going to talk about cheating, and they're really good manipulators. They're good at hiding things. Others don't care. Some of them will throw it right in your face. That it's kind of humiliating. And sometimes they just feel so confident. They're using it actually to control you. And just their energy level changes, just like the kids at school today, their energy level changes. They don't know what to focus on. Or if the person that they're with um, is doing their own thing, I guess, whether it's healing from a sickness or they got to take care of some family business, the narcissist doesn't know what to do with themselves. As you can tell, a lot of them will monkey branch. They don't take any downtime to heal. So those wounds haven't been addressed. And the crazy thing about a narcissist, though, is those wounds are like superficial wounds. Uh, she did try to make you jealous by showing off one of her guys. Didn't bother me one bit. And yeah, sometimes they'll purposely do it. Post things on Facebook, walk in front of you, show up at a restaurant you're going to be at with their new person. And me, why do you think your stepdad's a narcissist? Sometimes we can start telling. There's 5 out of 9 traits that you have to be considered a narcissist. There's also comorbidity, where you have different types of mental illness. So he hit your mom. Okay. Um, yeah, sometimes, yeah, that can be tough. I definitely, with like a toy sword. Was it playful? Were they being playful, or he was like angry? Sometimes people get playful, but if it was out of anger, that's a different story. Um, you don't know. Yeah. Did she get bruised, or did she scream and cry, or did she laugh it off? Sometimes people really, even like with the kids at school, just touching each other can sometimes cause injury. So, you know, it's better not to be playful like that. And Samantha joined us. Hi, Samantha. Good to have you here. And John says, I would never hit anyone. And I believe that. You seem like a kind person. Um, and is that, I see, right, Kiri. Is that knee, K-N-I, that you're doing, Nathan? And yeah, knee. I agree. Definitely shouldn't hit people. I don't even understand that though. You hear these stories of people putting cigarette butts out on their kids, the abuse that they go through. I I don't even know where that comes from. Some people I've seen, instant things, and they want to jump on people over the silliest thing. And you're right, don't do it. Hitting people is bad. And we talked about how I went to law school, studied about the eggshell skull theory, where the guy didn't intend to kill the person, but he had a very fragile skull, and it cracked, and or the guy died, and he got a murder charge. So you never know. Like, I break bones. I'm not quite brittle bone, but pretty close to brittle bone. I do break super easy. People are cruel. Thank you, Tony. You're right. Um, Cruel is mean. Cruel means mean. And sometimes too, you can even add in that. Well, it's like, beating a dog or locking a dog up and not taking care of it. That's cruel. Your mom says, I have a hard and thick skull. That means something different. When you have a hard and thick skull, it means you're stubborn. So she's not talking about the health of your body. She's saying that you're stubborn. Or sometimes too, it could mean that if you recover from hitting your head. Um, so she probably meant it nice. No, she's not calling you dumb. A hardened. When people are stubborn, they just don't want to change. They want to do everything their own way, and that can be kind of difficult to live with sometimes. But I see that I have a couple people joining in. Feel free to hit that like button to get those analytics going, algorithm going, and have more people join in. But um, when we're dealing with whether we stay or go, or we're thinking, do we want the person to come back? We really thank you. You're so sweet. I saw that. Like, it just helps with the algorithm because I want to get this word out to a lot of people. It doesn't bring me any money. Having you hit like doesn't cost you anything, but it does get more people seeing this. So thank you for that. But emotional cheating, they're not spending time with the person. A lot of them, we see all these self-aware narcissists, and they are delving into their YouTube channel, so they're getting supply from that, but they're taking away from their family. So they're all like, we're still in therapy or working on ourselves, whatever they're doing. But if you think about it, they're not really working on the family. It's just another distraction. So it'll be interesting to see uh, how the relationship is really growing, because they're probably kinder because they're getting the supply from YouTube. I live alone, so I'm not taking away from my husband's time or anything like that. And Samantha's giving lots of hugs to Nathan, John, even me and me. Oh, me and me. John says, I found some parts recently and I'm considering building a new version of an artificial arm. Did you see they did an artificial arm out of Legos? It was really cool. They had something, they have like a band or a string, and when you lift your shoulder, it was really cool. It was out of Legos, and this guy made it for some kids. So that would be amazing. I told you my dad had his leg amputated. Um, He had the regular slide on leg, but that'd be cool if you can get that. So even try it with the Legos if you need to. But yeah, it's cool. Or there was one that also went down to the toe where you could tap your toe and lift. So Nathan says, "What's up, sister?" And Samantha. Tony says, "Back in my day when I was in my childhood, my parents would whack me with rulers for even the tiniest things." Um, Back in the day, it was different. I'm 52. There was a lot more spanking. I'm not quite sure how old you are, but like my grandparents, it was like very traumatic for me. My grandfather had kind of had it with my brother. I don't even know what my brother was really doing, but he took the belt out and whacked my brother. I don't know how many times. I can't remember that, but I just remember like like we got spanked, but a leather belt. Yeah, and I know some people got whacked also too in the schools. They would whack you on your hand with, and those more like some of the religious schools. And now we really can't even hug the kids. We can get in trouble for hugging the kids. It's a no touch type thing. And Samantha says, "I'm doing good. I like to hear that." Oh my gosh, Courtworth. What do you mean nobody cares? I care. Let's be kind, otherwise I can't have you in the room. So it's important that we all get to know each other. So let's keep it kind and upbeat and supportive. It's okay if you don't agree. That's fine. You can even state that I don't agree, but let's care about each other here. Um, and so Wheeler Nathan's doing good. He replies to Samantha. John says, "I saw that. They also built a full size house and a small bridge with them." Yeah, Legos are amazing. And Nathan's thankful for the asking how he's doing. John says, "My designs require tougher materials. The fingers will use toggle bolts, which have built-in return springs." That'll be neat. And that's what's nice though, is just it feels good to, instead of just making a statue, you are making something that can really help people. Technology is amazing, and even just the human mind. That's why we have to preserve our mind. I see another like, "Thank you for helping with the algorithm. Get this channel growing." John, I'm sorry. Nee says, "Your kindergarten teacher used to spank us." They used to be allowed to, I believe. I don't think mine did. I don't know. I was always like a pretty good kid, but yeah, they used. Looking at gorgeous. Oh, you're so sweet. It was a rough day today. I might be gorgeous over the Christmas break. I'm just surviving right now. Got 2 more days, maybe just one more day. We might get 6 feet of snow, my Michiganders. 6 feet. I'm 6'1", so I told my friend, I said, at least my ponytail, I'll put my hair up on my head, so you can, the rescuers can find me, just a little ponytail sticking up. I bet it hurt. Yep. And you know, she did hit hard. I know with my ex, we kind of agreed not to hit our daughter or spank her just because he was so strong. And sometimes with that adrenaline, I'm like, he might lose his cool or not realize because he was so strong. So at least he upheld that. He did, which is nice. John says we are getting rain flood warning in effect here. Huh. Yeah, you gotta be careful. My friend down in Indiana, she had a big flood. I wouldn't doubt it if we get a flood. It's kind of cool. There's some property like in between our townhouses that it's kind of sunken down, and I think it's happened 3 times in 3.5 years I've been here. But it floods, and the kids will use it like a swimming pool. It looks kind of cool. I kind of wish I grew up here. That'd be kind of neat. uh, with all the snow melting, it'll probably. Oh, I'll tell you what. If it does uh, cause like a huge pond and freeze, I'm going ice skating out there. I got my own ice skates. One time, your teacher threw something at you. Yeah, and me, that's probably affected you in your life, might make you a little skittish or afraid of people. Um, or you take charge where I'm not taking this anymore. So it was like a whole book. That's crazy. Yeah, sometimes just even just the way something hits you or bounces, or your aim, can be really dangerous. So I'm sorry you went through that, Nee. That's it's not going to motivate you to want to come back to school, um, especially at kindergarten. Like my kindergartners, I have 4 classes of kindergartners. They are a handful. On Fridays, I have 3 classes of kindergartners, and they're off their rockers. I had one today who pooped in his pants, and just went about his day. His teacher brought him to art, which is what I teach, and she's like, he might stink if they changed him, but I think I'm like, they didn't wipe him, and oh yeah, but each kid is different. There's one kid who just couldn't settle down, and when he's one on one with me, and you got a really full attention with him, um, you can see like there's some good in him, but you can see he's like, I want to try to stay still, but he knows he can't, and it's the weirdest thing. I hope he gets it together, but he is off the wall. Cannot focus, unless you give him one piece of popcorn every. He'll focus. Court, what's up, Nathan? 34. Nathan says, Cynthia, I'll shovel your snow any day for you, princess. You'll be too snowed in to come over. I don't know how would I do that? I'm 6'1". I could probably scrape down. I don't know. Are you subscribed to Mr. Beast? I don't know. I'll have to double check. Are you Mr. Beast? I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. If that's who you are, let me know. Um, or tell me more about him. And so the cheating part, uh, it just takes away from time to building the relationship. So whether it's a new supply or, they might be with you and start getting bored. So uh, it's just where the focus is at the detriment of a person. It's good, we can't fully focus on each other. We have to grow as people, but a lot of the things that a narcissist does is because they're lost. They don't feel that connection, and they're searching for it, and they'll never get it. And that makes it. Samantha, where'd you go? Where's Sam? John says that girl had quite a few guys in her apartment. And so this is a thing. Is at least for me, I know I have a lot of, I don't know a lot, but I do have some guy friends, and I'm not intimate with them at all. And I know my second one was, even my first one, they couldn't understand it. They thought, and I'm like, when you say they're married, it didn't, to me, being loyal, that means off limits. And then, there is the cheating, Um, but I don't know exactly how to say that. Uh, but I do have platonic friends. I definitely have platonic friends. And what do you guys think? Can guys and girls be platonic? Because they keep saying no, no, they can't. It's usually if one person at least wants a little bit more. And some of my male friends are like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean I want more and I'm not tempted at all. But they are good people. Um, I don't know if I was in a relationship how I would handle that because most of my friends would be gone if I gave them up. And there's some really good people out there. John, I have a few girls I am friends with, but not really close to. Yeah, and so there's different levels of friendship. Nathan says, "What other narcissist coaches you watch other than Angie Atkinson?" Gosh, I don't know. all their names, and I'm bad about that. Um, the lady with the dark hair, I can't remember her name. I got to start doing that, committing it. Um, I don't remember her name. She's a pretty woman. I can't remember. Uh, Professional background kind of setting. Also, cluster. I do watch some of the what do they call it? Self-aware ones like Cluster B, Lee Hammock. Um, what's his name? Raw Motivations. Ben Taylor, Dr. Sam Backman. Uh, who else? Dr. Grande. I uh, Robert Peterson. Jordan Peterson. It's like that didn't sound right. Um, Stephanie Lynn. That no, I do watch her. It's not Stephanie Lynn I'm thinking of, but yes, Stephanie Lynn too. Uh, it wasn't who I was talking about, but yeah, I forgot about her. The one, oh, the Nameless Narcissist. I listened to him too, and he's really growing. So help me grow. He was my neck and neck for a while, and he's beating me out big time. Uh, but he knows what he's doing. But what was I gonna say? I need to know his name. I can't remember his name now. I even have a video on him. I'm blanking on his name. At first, he kind of used just like a background type thing with his voiceover, and he's like, mm, I think I've seen Kim, but not in depth. Uh, um, Kim doesn't sound right. Um, I want to say it starts with a J or something like that. Can't remember. I've seen Miss Michelle, different people. What is his name? He has a very, very interesting voice. The Narcissist. Do you know who I'm talking about? Uh, hey, was absent. I know, Sammy. You're gonna have to go back and watch the recording because I'm like, hey, Sam, where'd you go? Um, Had a call come in. Okay, well, I'm glad to have you back. But yeah, it was just to ask which other channels. Gosh, I wish I'm brain fried today. You know what who I'm talking about? It was yeah, the narcissist. But now he's starting to show his face and some of his things. He's a narcissist, and it's interesting how they like stay away from us. And oh, I got another like. Thank you for helping with the algorithm. You guys are awesome. Has anybody watched these replays? I'm trying to figure out if uh, they're able to view these. I think my trial has expired. Always wear sunglasses. That's exactly the narcissist. Nameless Narcissist did for a while. He's starting to take off his glasses, so he's a little more comfortable with himself. But yes, what is his name? I can't remember now. I have a video on him. It's so bad. I think Sam Vaknin has a lot of really good information, but he can be difficult to narcology. I've watched. I don't really watch narcology anymore. Uh, I think he's kind of has some anger issues. There's another lady I've kind of come across just out of like, what's up with her? Her man, and I don't remember her name. It never sunk in. But I was curious about her, not necessarily interested in her advice, but she did this one video where it's so full of anger. And Cluster B is vulgar, with the fuck you, you want to give me shit, fuck you. She's a narcissist, and she's, she's pretty smart, though. She is pretty smart. And if you don't like her, that's fine. You don't have to. Uh, but, we can get information from them. And she does say it like it is. Nathan, so she is vulgar. Is there things that she says that you disagree with? You know, uh, And Samantha says, he and I had disagreements and I commented on his video. Are you talking about, well, I wish I could remember his name. The narcissist. We'll call it the narcissist. You guys know who I'm talking about. What is his name? I can't believe I can't remember. You commented on his video where he said something about women, and I honestly disagreed, and so did other comments disagree. But he replied, kind of snobby. Yeah, they will. They'll be like, "Fuck you, you don't like my video," and then all of a sudden they don't like you. She tells viewers to off. You don't do that. Yeah, and to off. There's two ways I can take that. To F, like F you, or off you kind of means to KILL someone. Does she tell people to? She doesn't. She doesn't. I've never heard her say that. So if you mean the F word, clarify that for me, Nathan. I've never heard her say, to KILL. There's slang terms, and I just want to make sure if it's a typo or a misunderstanding or the use of the slang. No. Are you saying rewrite your sentence for me, please, Nathan, if you could? Samantha says, yes, I can't remember his name either. I know. Yeah. Just remember my name, Cynthia Schiller. Remember me. But some of his stuff is good advice. Some of it isn't. He's Some of it is not. Attitude, very bad attitude. Yeah, she does have bad attitude. There are times she gets irritated, where there are times where she sends love and cares about the people, redirects certain thinkings, which I agree with some of the things that she said. But there's other times she's like, oh, one person had commented, I think it was narcissists need to die or something like that, or I don't think they said burn in hell, but something like that. Narcissists need to. And yeah, she came back with like, fuck you, all narcissists. And she took it personally. And she did. She grouped cluster B in with it. And cluster B technically is supposed to be helping people. So she has a man and he must know her. I noticed a ring on her finger now, a blue ring. And it's hard to tell with the mirror images. Sometimes I don't have a ring on. I should try. Sometimes it would be your left hand. Other times it would be your right hand. So this is my left hand. Is it showing as left? I think I have mine set up the correct way. Yeah, I do. Where it's so confusing. Yeah, you guys see it as the mirror image. No, as you would see it if you were looking at me. So if I held up this hand, it would be my ring finger. Uh, but she might have her camera set up the other way. And also, when you're looking through things for the truth, there are times where different angles or different things, whether it's flipped, mirror image, sometimes be aware of that when you're trying to say, oh, that's not what they said. They said they broke their right arm, it's their left. So you got to be careful on our discoveries. And she had one guy maybe 8 months ago. It could be 5. I don't know. Time kind of travels. 8 to 5 months ago, and he was on camera with her. And I don't know if it's the same man. I don't know if they stuck together or not. I haven't really heard her talk about him that much, and it could be a new guy. So Samantha, I'll never forget you. And I'm special, truly different from the rest. You're calm, and that means a lot. Yeah, I started talking about that one lady. This is interesting. She's staying with this guy, her husband, and he's gay, and he's sneaking out to be with guys. And it seems like he's not giving her any attention. And, you know, if he'd rather be with a man, there's no way that she can provide that. Uh, but she's still with him. I don't quite understand her. And then she had said something. I tried to save it, but I had to use my phone for school before I could save it because I was cautious not to share it onto my Facebook. I wanted to message me. Um, but her comeback was like, no, you're kind of, whether it was reactive abuse or not. I'm like, no, you're not in the right. Not that he is, but just the anger. You can see a lot of anger in her. And that's why sometimes when you take advice from people, try not to take it from the angry people. I don't care if they're self-aware, how healthy, whatever you want to call it. Don't take it from angry people. Angry people are giving you advice based on emotion, not logic. So use your logical minds when you're starting to think about things. John says narcissists really need professional support from the right person. Um, because sometimes too it just feeds their ego, or like, yeah, I know, like, yeah, I can't believe your wife is such a jerk, and it's like, yeah, yeah, so now I can get away with, and it can be husband wife either way. uh why would he trust her? Oh, it's they think they're special, they're being treated special, and they're being fooled. They're being fooled, and they feel that there's something special about them, or that she's growing, changing, or they're just caught up in the, oh, she's beautiful, or a freak and everything I wanted, or whatever. She's not really super sexual though. She's not. She doesn't really like to be touched. She will have sex with whoever, but it's not really her thing. So uh, the feistiness, he's overlooking the trust for the feistiness. And can I win her? Every other guy failed. Can I win her? She's a challenge. She's feisty. Um, People get off on that. It's everybody's different. Anyone watch Narc Free Living? Is that's a channel? Because I think I might have come across that. I don't think you're referring to a show. Nathan says he knows her whole story. Oh no, he doesn't. Nobody, even though she's been transparent. She's talked about her childhood, but I mean, she's given advice. No, you get the gist of her childhood. No, um, it goes way deep, way deep. Um, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, that he knows she's abusive. He knows, but he might be thinking she stuck it out for 12 years with uh, her husband, and we're talking about cluster B milkshake. So I get it. And those are red flags. We do it too sometimes. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you for those likes. My algorithm is matching. I love you guys. Um, but she can be in a long-term relationship, things like that. Um, it also goes sometimes to the person's self-esteem. Either they're cocky, like, of course she's going to love me and change for me, or the savior, where I can change her. Uh, she's shown me some of the good heart that she has. I'm sure, she gives gifts or snuggle time when she wants to. Ben Taylor is good. Uh, he seems kind of, I do like him, but it's kind of like a business, to where I don't know. I don't know how to word him. Um, Kind of cautious on him. Uh, right now, it's good. I'm cautious because uh, he has, and that's the thing. Like, people grow, but the whole narcissist can't love. And then the actions. This is the thing. Actions do mean a lot in showing love. So he's like, now I show my wife love, but that's the love bombing stage. It doesn't mean that they love. So he's probably easier to get along with, um, but he's high on supply. He's a very large uh, YouTuber for narcissism. He's making some money. It was interesting. He charges, what's 100? It's 100 and something, 120, 40, or 70. He does half hour, hour and a half. But his wife, when she did it, she got $30 an hour. Um, and she's the one who went through the abuse. He cheated, I believe, 5 times. We're talking about Ben Taylor. Sorry. And she was uncomfortable doing it. So I'm fairly comfortable talking about these things, but you know, I kind of wonder if he's like, you got to do it. And she did it. Sometimes we do things for our mate because we care about them. I know her, and yes, and I can't do some little gimmick like that because everybody will think I'm copying Mr. Chicken, her little microphone stand. And yeah, as long as, yep. Uh, did you know that the orcas do that? They'll close one eye and sleep. When I teach my kids about the orca, I'm like, do this, close one eye, touch your head, now switch. Um, yeah, or they'll forget to breathe, and that's the narcissist sucking the breath out of us, killing us slowly. There's Courtney. Hi, Courtney. So good to see you. And she's wacko. Mr. Chicken. Yeah, that's kind of childlike, kind of childlike. So yeah, there's some oh, who was it? Doctor. I don't think the person who brought him up. He died. Isn't this funny? He died September 19th, 2012, but I can't remember his name. Not trying to be disrespectful. I watched him for a little bit, and I believe he's religious, but I told the person I'm going to do some more research on him. Uh, Dr. Richard K, or I can't remember his name. Yeah, body cam. That's it can be scary sometimes. Yeah, the fits that they'll throw. Mine weren't really fit throwers. They were running, avoidant, or flat effect, to where, and sometimes too, they couldn't comprehend what you were saying. When they can't comprehend, they get irritated. They don't want to deal with it. I had a kid today too. This is how we keep talking about not knowing how to express their feelings, not knowing what they're feeling. And, kids are still learning vocabulary, but I had one child today where he looked distraught. He looked distraught, almost on the verge of tears. Usually a really good kid. Um, he is one of my English as a second language students. So he's Japanese, doesn't really know the language. And so it's hard to understand if he understood English um, enough to express what he was feeling. But he knew the word sad. And I'm like, are you sad? He's like, I don't know. Are you happy? I don't know. I don't know what I'm feeling. So it affected him. But how do you address something you don't know what's making you sad? How do you fix it? And the narcissist is kind of in that mindset, like, I'm in a funk. I don't know how to fix it. Do I need to lay down? Do I need to am I lonely? Am I feeling lonely, or am I feeling irritated? If I'm irritated by people, going to hang out with them is not going to make it better. Um, it's just a confusing state. So yeah, feel free to tell me some of the other people that I want to know what that guy's name is. That's driving me insane. Because I keep thinking, I'm trying to read it, and I keep going to my nameless narcissist, and that's not his name. I wish I could remember. Mr. Narcissist. Um, but yeah, I haven't watched him in a while. Uh, there is some revenge type stuff that I don't agree with. And I get it. Like, the biggest revenge on your narcissist is being without you, that you're just going to live your life, and they're going to see what they missed. Uh, she's wacko. I'll tell you what though, Nathan, the first time, and Courtney, Sam, John, everybody feel free. Oh, I have to read your name to remember. I can't remember how to just say it. We got me and I don't want to say it the wrong way. I don't see the letters to read it. Um, First time I saw her, though, she was pretty emotional. She had that hat of shame. She'll wear different hats sometimes. And she was just talking in like a really weird, I don't know. It was like, what's, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know if she was drunk that night. She seemed off that night on that one video. And at first I was like intrigued, like, what is up with this lady? And then there was a couple videos. But yeah, she's kind of crass sometimes. But shock value, the psychology on certain things, shock value cells, sex cells, pulling up people's heartstrings. And there's one commercial that really irritates me. It's St. Jude's Hospital, for St. Jude's, where they are hoping for donations and stuff, and they're tugging at your heartstring, and they use assumption for people like you. I can't remember their exact wordings, so I want to clarify that the words might be a little bit off, but how you can feel like I don't know. It's a manipulation tactic, and I don't like it. Um, where you can kind of see through that. So, uh, comment, let me know who's still here, but we'll go back to talking about the cheating. You know, it's narcissists are full of distractions. They have to keep busy. And when things start going wrong, that's when they're going to focus on other things. So if things get a little bit uncomfortable, they're going to start, you know, delving full fledged into a hobby instead of working on what should be worked. There you go, Samantha. Good, good. And do you know if your person ever cheated? Or do they seem to do a lot of distracted things where they're maybe working on a car 12 hours a day or at their buddy's house without staying with the family? Because there's emotional cheating. You know, does he have a female friend that he talks to too much? And John's still here. And yeah, John, she seemed to not really be connected with people, but have several people. Courtney, good to have you. Yes, I was wondering. So, Courtney, feel free to let us know a little more of your story if you'd like to, or any questions. And this, John, like with the lack of emotional connection, uh, you know, she's not feeling whole, and she's searching for it. Samantha says, mine is extremely emotionally unavailable, but hasn't cheated, at least physically. Yeah, sometimes too, you know, they're afraid of getting caught. Some, depending on their background, might not have any desire to be with multiple people. Um, you know, some people are too afraid of getting, in her case, somebody pregnant or an STD. Sometimes they'll avoid that. Like, it's not worth getting an STD. I would if life was safe. So that's good. He's not cheating. And sometimes too, they're so detached that, you know, Nathan, you got to do mine first. Nathan's already backing out on me, Samantha. He wants to shovel your snow. Courtney, yours cheated. Was it a one-time thing or an ongoing thing? Thank you guys so much for sharing. Kind of helps us like really understand, um, you know, what happened and what could happen. Because some of us are like, do we stay? And I will say, not all narcissists cheat, just like I said. Um, but the, so yeah, sometimes it's a one-time thing. Sometimes, you know, they want to, but it's not conducive to their work schedule. They're too afraid, uh, kind of like too small town. But if the opportunity was there, a lot of them would take that opportunity. That's why a lot of businessmen or women will, you know, take a couple flings and Uh, Samantha says, "Oh, Nathan, you can shovel all the snow you want." Mine and Cynthia's. Exactly. Watch, this is what Nathan would do. He's be such a hard worker. He's like shoveling me out as he is. He's piling up snow in your yard. Both. Yeah. I believe that, Nathan. You do seem like a really kind person. And yeah, you had a really sweet post. I'm not sure if I replied to it yet. I got distracted. Um, I started typing it. I'm not sure if I hit send. But yeah, lifelong friends. I hope we do develop lifelong friendships here. One of my best friends I have never met, and I've mentioned her before. I had a costume business, was selling some costumes on eBay that I made. She was also a seamstress, so uh, we started talking, and that was, I can't remember, 15, 18 years ago, something like that. And she's been one of the truest friends. When I was down and out, she purchased costumes she didn't need, and that gave me the money that I needed. I never asked for the money, and she had my back. She did not need it. My friends that I've been friends with forever, I didn't ask for money, and they didn't offer it, but she knew what I needed. Sometimes people relate to that, or they just care that much. Courtney says, I think he cheated nonstop. Yeah. Sometimes too, they'll cheat the entire time, and it blows your mind. You're like, I thought we were close, and they can hide a lot of the red flags, or we miss them sometimes. Sometimes they're so subtle. And I was thinking earlier about word patterns. We'll talk about that in a second. Just write word patterns, and I'll remember. You wouldn't move in with him, so I got replaced. Yeah, you don't do exactly what they want. Screw you. And if he really loved you, he would, you know, be there or wait. There are times I saw a post on Justin Bieber. They edited it. He wants 15 kids, and Haley doesn't want any, at least not right now. And uh, he said he was so unhappy. But I wonder what's going to go on with them. Sometimes they're already married, but sometimes people don't talk about things before they get married. And that can cause. I talked about my cousin's daughter, who they broke up because her man wanted to stay overseas, and she couldn't leave the states to, she had all her family here. Sometimes they talked about it, and it was a loving breakup, a sad breakup, because they really did like each other. But you wouldn't move in with him, and that's gotta hurt. How long were you with him before you got replaced? You you're in you're in the Cynthia Club, Courtney. Two narcissists, yeah, a lot of stories. And what is the one thing that really stuck out the most with them? As far as a pattern that you saw, what would you say is one of the biggest either warning signs or so? Mine's kind of just the breaking of promises, even just little ones like, yeah, I'll call you Thursday. And if they can't do it, it's fine, but they don't acknowledge it. They never call. It's almost like they're missing a step. They don't go the second step to close off the conversation. I'll call you Thursday. Okay, so we're waiting and we're being polite. We'll wait till Thursday, Friday. And they never close it off. Like, sorry, I couldn't call yesterday. They don't. Sometimes they do, but in general, they're not as good as healthier people. So, Samantha, with your 6'2" self, Nathan, you will do an amazing job. I'm positive. Yeah, good memory. Right, right, Nathan. Did I remember too? Or Sam and I? Um, Courtney says try dealing with him for six years. Yeah, and it's interesting. A lot of divorces. I know you didn't. It sounds like you didn't marry him. Uh, but a lot of divorces are at that 7 year time. Sometimes it takes 8 years for the actual divorce to go through. What is it about the 7 year itch? Also, my degree is in criminal justice. I talk about the criminal system to break a prisoner after they're in jail, prison for 7 years. It's like they're broken. Um, and there's something about that. Uh, but the discard is brutal because sometimes it's out of the blue, or with the future faking. Thank you, Nathan. The future faking, that'll drive you crazy because you're like, okay, all right, I just got to wait 2 more months. We have our little trip and it's going to be beautiful. I've been waiting for this. So now your anticipation's up and then you crash, but they promise, "No, I'm sorry, it'll just be 2 more months." So you're like, okay, we're going to do this. And I got to be patient. And then you crash again. And it's like 1 more month. Okay, I get it. I've had to cancel on things because of work or family members, and you wait and then you crash again. And that up and down is what causes a trauma bond because we're so invested and now it's on our mind. Is this really going to happen? I got to walk on eggshells so he doesn't change his mind, or in your case, she. Um, and yeah, sometimes we stick it out for 6 years. And usually in a loving relationship, that should have grown. Um, and Courtney, if you are comfortable sharing, how many years of the 6 years was good? Or when did you start noticing red flags? So, yeah, Samantha, you do have a good memory, according to Nathan. I remember too, so we both have good memories. Um, the future faking, that's all mine. Yeah, and you wonder too with my first one, wanting to get married. Oh, my algorithms are matching. Thank you for the likes. You guys make me so happy. Um, but promising to get married, is it, you hear from the self-aware that they're like, our intentions were good at that time. Sometimes they are, but in that instance, that's like a big thing. Uh, I don't know. Do they really plan to go through it? Because he did that to another girl right after me, a 4-year relationship. And, you know, um, yeah, it's heartbreaking. And sometimes it's like confusing because in the beginning of a relationship, you're like, I guess, trying to explain it away, like, well, of course, in the beginning of a relationship, we're getting to know each other. It's fun. It takes time to develop that deep bond, that you feel that energy and you're like, duh, this is amazing energy. How could it go wrong? And then all of a sudden you're like, what is going on? um, some of it overpowers them. And that's the defense mode where they want to take their power back because the falling in love, falling. It's interesting that we call it that. Uh, you never cheated on your girlfriend. Yeah, I know you really cared about her. Um, yeah, you tried spending time with her and caring for her and being patient. I've known John for over a year. Courtney says maybe a year good. Then it was a lot of ups and downs. I really thought he was my soulmate and very, very handsome. I wasted a lot of time. And yeah, they'll use the word soulmate too. Uh, Mine did. Um, and yeah, a lot of them are very good looking. Because, think about it. And the pretty privilege, they kind of turn into spoiled brats. So they often will accentuate, uh, you know, um, their looks. Uh, Histrionic people will utilize their sexuality, and narcissist good looks. Uh, it's hard sometimes. And Courtney, uh, so what was it that made you stay those 5 extra years, if you can show or share, if you're comfortable? um, Mine was that adrenaline rush. And it's really sad that we didn't work out because he didn't have the balls to stand up for, you know, uh, you know, stand up for me. And Samantha says, mine has never really said anything nice about me or to me. Man, feeling kind of gypped right now. LOL. Um, well, I can tell just how much, like you can hear it. And you were really sweet. Samantha sent me an audio recording, and you are so good with your kids. My goodness. Trying to redirect your husband, and just such a sweet tone with your kid, even when you're dealing with what you were dealing with, because obviously you were in the middle of the situation. So keep being you, keep raising those kids the right way. Uh, so, Samantha, as far as yours, never really saying anything nice about you or to you. Does he use a lot of cut downs? Because there's times that people don't acknowledge the good, but let the bad go. Other people will focus on the bad and call you all these horrible names. Either way, it's hard. Courtney says, I thought I could change him. Yeah, yeah, be careful. I thought I could change him and help him in his life. Yeah, and they are just so cruel. Uh, with a narcissist, love doesn't fix things. When you love them more, they don't like it. They don't like it because in their upbringing, they either had to put on a false facade of who they were, so they feel like they got to keep it to be adored, to lie about it because they can't achieve, and either that or they're beat down. And John says you're a good person, Samantha. She really is. She really is. From what I know of her, I'm starting to get to know her. You've been kind of faithful ever since you came on. I'm still getting to know you though, but we're friends. So we're definitely friends. Samantha says, "Oh, thank you. You're so kind. That means so much to me. I love my babies. I can tell." And really think, is it physically safe? I see the kids at school. Um, they see some violence. Um, just be careful. Uh, don't tolerate physical abuse. And the kids at school aren't all in physically abusive households, and it affects them. It affects them. So it's interesting to see all the different kids, what they're going through. Uh, what does Nathan say? John blowing kisses, and Nathan says, "I think you were blowing kisses at my John." Uh-oh, we got some smoochies going on. Oh my gosh. There's no mistletoe in this chat room. Be kind. You have to ask permission first. May I kiss you? May I send you an emoji with a kiss? I think, so yeah, absolutely. Um, but the cheating part is sometimes to boost their ego. They're getting older. They feel trapped, longing for youth or to be adored or even just a challenge or to show off. They'll do like a bet with their friends. I bet I could get a girl. And that's sad too. When people use others just for a bet. And John's giving big hugs to everybody. Yeah, sometimes we just need a little bit of love. Narcissist is different. When they shut down, when they go into that black and white thinking, they're not open to that. Um, it's the push pull, constant push pull. That's why we need to back away. So Samantha, um, you know, dealing with a narcissist is different. You were trying to reason with him in your voice clip where you're like, it makes me feel unsafe. What were your words? I don't want to unheard. I think you were saying I just want to be heard is what I think you said. Um, and yeah, we just want to be heard, but they take it as you're an ass, you're a fuck up. And we're like, I'm just trying to say, let me say my part. Um, they shut you down now. Now they're mad at you for saying that. Like, oh, I don't listen to you. I'm listening to you right now, and tired of you nagging. Sam, it will work out. You seem to be a beautiful person, and that's the thing. She is a beautiful person. So are most of us, if not all of us, that come to this chat room. And in my nursing school, we learned, because I like to say that a lot, it'll work out. but it doesn't always work out. Or if it does, is it for the best? So they can stay together. Uh, Nathan, he threatened to throw her out a window, and uh, life will work out. I'll agree with that. So it depends on exactly if you just mean life will work out. Life will work out for her. Um, okay, so Nathan, Samantha says, mine jumps on us to tell at us we've messed up. Now, when you say jumps on us, we got to be careful with the way we word things. Are you saying he literally like pounces on you? I think what you mean is verbally jumps on you, jumps down your throat type stuff. Uh, so some people might picture they lunges onto you. So exploits our failures that aren't even big mess ups. He blows up so bad. Yeah, sometimes the littlest things. And you got 3 kids, so he's probably high stress with that because, kids need care, and kids need care at inopportune moments. Sometimes they need a diaper change or they accidentally spilled something, and they like predictability and knowing their schedule. You know, and that's the thing, Nathan. I agree. We keep thinking things will get better. Courtney, let me know if you're still here. Uh, but a lot of times the cycle repeats. And Samantha says, "Oh, thank you, Nathan. I believe that." And I do hope it works out for you. I just want you safe. I just want you safe. And just do not get loud. Always talk quiet with him. Try not to get that anxious sound in your voice. I'll feed off of that. Don't get the sadness. It's going to be hard. But he didn't want to hear you at all. He wasn't hearing anything. So I get what you're saying. Uh, Figuratively. That's okay. And when we're in the heat of an argument, sometimes we say that because during my custody battle, I had a cop. My ex used to try to get like police reports against me during the custody battle. So he would say anything um, because it was me versus the state versus me. So he didn't have to pay for the court stuff. I did. And there's this one police report when they're interviewing me, and I said, like he just keeps doing this, and it's like he's kicking me and kicking me and kicking me when I'm down. And so he says, "Oh, Cynthia says he kicks her," and I'm like, I no, I mean kicking me when I'm down. That's cliche, uh, and it's like no, but they have it in a police report where I said it was domestic violence. I was able to clarify it, and to be honest, I felt good that I was able during the conciliation meeting to clear or deposition during the deposition to clarify that in front of my ex because he didn't do that. I don't want to put that on him, um, but other people's interpretation too. He took it as domestic violence, and I'm using the cliche. Uh, and then you get the ex angry at you for something he would have understood. Uh, Courtney says they never change. And Courtney, with yours, do they go through different cycles? Like, did you guys break up a bunch? Because a lot of times it takes several times. Like, sorry, guys. Do you see my Lions shirt? Go Lions. But they can break up. They can try again. They can hoover or wait for that reverse hoover. They'll be all alone one day. All of you are wonderful, says Nathan. I feel like you are my family of friends. Yeah, and we've been kind of meeting quite a bit. I'm going to try to keep that going. Uh, yeah, they'll be alone um, or unsatisfied. Some of them will keep their person in the house, but uh, they're going to feel lost. And just like that little boy I kept talking about, how little spurts of, okay, I'll listen, or they needed that coddling. You give them freedom, Even that little boy, you give him a little bit of freedom, zoom, he is back to was it wreaking havoc. And Sam says, "You're right, Nathan. That's hard with kids." But it's interesting. I'm trying to correlate. Now I teach kindergarten through fourth grade art. And so you can see the age progression. This is a pretty good school to do it at because the other schools I was at were pretty much full trauma. Um, so here I can kind of compare between the happy, healthy kids and the other ones. It's interesting. Courtney says, yes, we did break up a few times. The last time he really wanted to get his hooks into me. I wouldn't move in, so I was no use to him anymore. Yeah, because he doesn't want to go through the steps. And he was too afraid, you know. He just wanted, does he ever want to get married, or is he a divorcee? Um, because some don't ever want to get married. Some want to get married to have like a trophy wife or husband, or to have somebody. True love does take time, but uh, yeah, we got to be careful not to uh, mix sex with love. There's a difference. Um, yeah, sometimes we get caught up in the whirlwind that, you know, with people, we got to invest in the people before we trust them with our bodies. He said he wanted to marry me, but can't believe anything they say. Ditto. I agree with that. Oh my gosh. That's that future faking. So a lot of times too, they'll say that and time goes by and we're like, you want to marry me, but you won't meet my family. You want to marry me, but I can't have dinner at your grandma's with you. Whatever. You start seeing things like, are we building a future together, or are you just hiding me away? Courtney, was he good at bringing you to family functions or uh, friend time that he would go to, or were you pretty much isolated, not allowed to go to things? Um, John says that girl wanted to go to Hawaii with me. She's thinking she wants you to pay. Do you? What do you think, John? Do you think she wanted to pay for that? Did she like she was? Didn't she get evicted for no money? Like I want to go to Hawaii. I'm not planning it. I'm trying to save for a house, but did she think you would pay for it? Because if I'm remembering correctly, she was on a 10-year waiting list or trying to get on it for the housing assistance or government housing, whatever it was. She doesn't have the money. That's why doesn't she say I'd like to go camping with you? You know, a county over. So, huh? Did she bring up you paying for it or? Interesting. You should have said, yeah, go buy some tickets. Samantha says, I look back and see all the red flags. Oh my goodness. Hindsight's 2020. I got perfect vision now. And literally it's almost like that. Like, are you kidding me? And sometimes we feel guilty, like I should have done something a little bit different. Try not to blame yourself. With a narcissist, it's almost like it wouldn't have worked anyways. They'll just twist it a different way and twist it a different way. So no matter what you do, they'll deflect. They'll do whatever it is. They have different weapons in their arsenal. Courtney says he had no friends, and I went to all my family functions with him. All family functions, sorry. And I went to all family functions. So you were his supply. You were his supply. Um, yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes when people have no friends, that can be a red flag because you usually have one or two, you know. Uh, yeah. And obviously, if you think about it, no friends, he's probably pretty lonely. I mean, he does have you, Courtney, or did, but was he clingy to you? Did he have abandonment issues, or did he treat you as super disposable? Nathan says that it's not your fault. Uh, Good, Courtney. I like that. Now it needs to be a finish line flag. Yeah. Change from red to white. Is it white and black? At least we need the white up here. What's a finish line? Red and black? John says she wanted to share the cost. Okay. All right. So that's okay. That's fair. But you guys didn't go on. And sometimes too, uh, would it have been reasonable financially in the next 5 years for you guys to do that? Because I can tell you I want to go to the moon with you, but that's never going to happen. You know, uh, like pipe dreams, is that what they call it? Um, and at least she said she'd share. What about? Did you guys ever go out to dinner, or uh, did she pay her for things? I know she bought you a couple gifts though. Uh, we Nathan says ultimately they will hoover back most of them. A lot of them do, depending on life circumstances. Thank you, Nathan. You're absolutely correct. Uh, Yours just did recently, too. Was a month ago or so. Courtney says he was clingy, and you can almost tell based on the stories that the clues. I mean, I enunciated the word I wanted to say, and then realized that's not the word I wanted. He was clingy mostly until I started getting devalued. Yeah. And yours was probably like a super shock, like, like you were so clingy. Now you're distant. What is up? You feel this is not you. Um, John says she was wondering how we could get the pets there safely. I'll tell you what, I told you a couple videos ago how my daughter, uh, when I took her down to Florida, her and her friend bought a hamster, and it they brought it to the hotel, and I checked into flying it back. Like I was not happy. John would have been happy with a hamster, but it was like $250. This is back in or pretty much 2000. Yeah, but year 2000, it was like $250 to put a hamster on a plane from Florida to Michigan. $250. So it'd probably be about $500 now. Um, Nathan says, my ex devalued me about how I shoveled her snow. Did she? Did she give you a hard time? That's the thing, too. Sometimes we do a nice gesture, which saves them time. They can touch it up if it's not perfect. Are you being sarcastic? Or did she really? And she might have, Mr. Michigander. Seriously, yeah. And does that make you feel like you want to do it again? That's the thing. So there's times where like screw this. I'm just gonna get bitched at. It's not a healthy way to handle it. They should, oh sweetie, that's fantastic that you did that. Next time, do you mind kind of making sure, or whatever. But as opposed to what the hell are you thinking? You can't do a better job than that. Tone makes a huge difference. Samantha says, "Oh, I know about getting devalued, Nathan. It is awful. She is OCD. Oh, yeah. So any little fluff that falls off that shovel or inconsistencies in the mountains of snow piled up. OCD, yeah. And that's got to be hard. Everything has to be perfectly her way. Um, Hell no. You're right, Courtney. That's what it seems like. They do. And I said they'll focus on the negative. And, you know, uh, that's the sad part. We focus on the positive. They focus on the negative. And John's agreeing that is so true. And those of you with your OCD, I know I got to try to move that cord that's in the back. There you go. Because I know it's probably driving some people crazy. I can't get comfortable down here. I don't know where to put my stuff. How's that? Is that better? I don't know. It's not the moment. Maybe I need to put something on my landing over there. See, it wasn't clean shoveled. Um, And you might be meaning the word shoved, and uh, yeah, I say shoveled, you say shoved, I think. Um, but yeah, when you're pushing it, it kind of ripples, some little snowballs fall off. And me, it's like, it's cold. I don't need it perfect. I need it warm. It is Sam. She really hurt my feelings. Yeah, because we're doing something nice and we're being reprimanded from it. We're being cut down, not appreciated, belittled, and it can be extremely painful. Um, and then we start thinking, how could I have stayed in this for so long? And also sometimes hurts like, was I not good enough? But we have to know, like, we were good enough. Like, you can see it here, that, like Sam was trying to communicate, you know, uh, Nathan was doing kind things, John offering time and understanding and patience, and, Courtney giving it, 5 extra years, and dealing with it, hoping that things will get better. And I got somebody else in the room. Who am I missing? Say hello if you would like. Who did I miss? Some people pop in and out, and I like addressing you guys if you like that. If not, I can understand that. You don't have to. Some people are shy. Some people like to interact. Nathan, some people have zero tolerance. Others have 100% acceptance. You're right. You're right. Sometimes people overlook things, you know. Um, and sometimes too, people either have the lowest self-esteem or they don't care because they don't have empathy. Uh, and yeah, it's just different. Courtney says I took care of his grandma before she passed away. Yeah, that's not even your grandma. That's his grandma. You guys aren't even married, and you're doing something like that. That shows a really kind heart. Um, that can be hard. And seeing the death process too. I'm assuming you were seeing that. That can be traumatic as well. Samantha says it's awful. I feel like it's as bad as physical abuse. To me, it's worse. I'm a burn victim. I've had stitches. Is it 7 different times? I've had broken bones, broke my collarbone once, my tailbone 3 times, my legs intermittently. Um, I would get stress fractures. I had fingers broken. Just tore my meniscus 2 years ago. I had to have surgery. Had to have a bone removed in my foot. No, I'm okay. I'm okay with all that. But yeah, the emotional thing that got me. That got me. I've been raped. I've been molested. Uh, yeah, I was devastated with um, promising me for 2 years. Hang in there. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore. Like, are we taking steps forward? And they're encouraging you, you know. So we believe in different things. I mentioned before, when I was a burn victim, that this is the healing process. You can see it getting better or getting worse. Um, but with the narcissist, you think it's getting better, and then slam, it's like, nope, you're dead. You're out of here. And like doctors make mistakes. They could say, I'm really sorry. I thought this would be, and I don't understand why it didn't work. But with the ghosting, there's no closure. And you're like, I went through this for nothing, not even an apology. They encourage you with that future faking to hang in there. Um, so I agree, you know. Uh, and it gave us brain damage. So that's the physical abuse we get from it, the brain damage. So there is physical abuse. There is physical abuse because it can affect your heart, can give you diabetes. Like I said, damages your brain, um, higher pulse rate, just a bunch of stuff, upset stomach, nerves, anxiety, depression. So, yeah. Uh, that's a physical reaction, a physiological. Uh, It was 3 in the morning. You did this. Oh, so you even got up early or stayed up late. Probably got up early. I don't know, Nathan. Are you a night owl? Um, yeah, there's times too where like they got to get to work. I want to, and sometimes too in Michigan, we got to kind of do it every couple hours, just like with the snowstorm coming. We're predicted at 5 to 6 feet. There is no way I can get out there and shovel that anywhere if it's completely uh, encased because I'm 6'1". That's going to be really hard to even get out your door. Back in 1978, that big blizzard. Comment below if you know about that blizzard. Uh, my ex lived off of Lake Michigan, and it went straight up. He to get out of the house, he had to go out the upstairs window. Uh, they had snowshoes. Be careful, don't do that because you can suck down. You can suffocate in snow. Be careful on that. Uh, don't get in deep. Um, yeah. Courtney says, I agree. My brain isn't the same anymore. I tend to forget a lot of stuff. Now I never had that problem before. I can relate to that. Today I was letting the Japanese people in, and I say it that way so you know that's my English as a second language learners. But I always have a key fob for the front foyer door, and I'm sitting here trying to unlock it with my room, and I'm like, what? And then I was supposed to put the cone for the bus line, the orange cone, in that area, the foyer, but I'm bringing it down to the art room, and like two like WTFs in a row. So yeah, it feels like our brain, we're not absorbing like what we could. We got that brain fog. And the narcissist has that brain fog too, to where there's a lot of lapses where they don't remember or they'll do things. And, you know, it's crazy. I used to get up with my husband at 4 a.m. and help him shovel. He made me help. I was pregnant. Samantha, yes, you shouldn't have been lifting, uh, being pregnant. And at 4 a.m., you should. Whew. Mine did that. He went grocery shopping, and would wake me up when I had a fairly newborn, 2 to 4 month old, and I would never do that. I'd let him sleep. I would have done the grocery shopping, but he wanted to and brought home stuff. So it's like, if you don't want to put it away, I don't care. I'll put it away in the morning, but put away the refrigerator stuff and freezer stuff, and I'll get the rest in the morning. But to wake me up, um, I did it, but I'm thinking, I wouldn't have done that to him, you know. Uh, and Samantha, I'm sorry you went through that. Yeah. And we got to pull our fair share, but I don't know. I can relate to that. I just know I wouldn't have done that. Courtney, 78 blizzard, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, so you remember it. Ghosting hurts, Nathan, you're right. Because they treat you like you're dead. And it feels almost like you go through a struggle, like you're treating me like I'm dead. We're absorbing that energy and we want to live. And they're putting this on us. And that ghosting, she ghosted you the first week. Okay, so yeah, sometimes it doesn't take long. Um, yeah, uh, it's hard to go through that. Thank you, John. Samantha says, true to Courtney's statement. And okay, so Samantha, yeah, that 78 blizzard, and Nathan remembers it too. Yeah, I was 8 years old when we had that. So third grade. But yeah, we'll see what happens this week. Is it going to be 5, 6 feet? Who was it? Was it who just had 30 feet of snow? Somebody like that's crazy. New York's gotten hit a lot of times. Samantha says, Nathan, how long have you been escaped from the evil woman, if you don't mind me asking? Well, Nathan, feel free to fill in, but he had a Hoover just recently. But let her know how far along it's been since you guys have been broken up. His person is now with a live-in, if I remember correctly, and on the Hoover, she ended up calling him, kind of using him for some advice on a car. Once she got what she wanted, she ghosted again. They kind of smoochied a little bit, and you know, they're all about in the moment. You know, so we think, they kissed us, they want to get back together, or they have a tender spot for us. It's just like, why not? We're here. We've done it before. Let's see ya. They compartmentalize things. They're a whole different breed. And I started talking about, you guys were supposed to remind me, the word patterns, how, uh, just like I used that cliche earlier, it's something I've heard and people use it, so I used it. And sometimes people misinterpret things, so they don't understand the cliche or where it's coming from. So the narcissists, their word patterns, and the way that they close off or don't close off conversations, uh, is in a more negative way. You read in a dismissive way. When I study all this relationship advice or psychology hacks on how to get somebody to like you, it is all about narcissism. That, uh, if you want someone, back away. If you want someone, tell them you don't want anything to do with them. They're going to try hard to please you. And it's so weird. And that's why it seems like the narcissist always wins. March will be 2 years. Sam, Nathan's been out of it for 2 years. Um, so I know you've struggled for a while, but it seems you've been starting to get quite a bit healthier for quite a while. But Nathan, what are some of your triggers that bring you back into sadness? Or Courtney too. Um, I know I couldn't go to weddings for a while because mine bailed on the wedding, wanted to postpone it, and that was the end of our relationship. Um, you get back together, you think you're working on things. For me, I got a speeding ticket on Valentine's Day and called up a whole life with a baby together. It can be really shallow on the discard. Maybe an argument, give me an argument, tell me I was careless, but you get discarded. Like, why talk through it? You're just a problem. And it's like, I would have paid his ticket because I cared and wanted to be with him. Um, she's already cheating on the new supply. Yeah. So, Nathan, you think she monkey branched though, right? About what? Do you think she's been with him about 2.5 years or so? Sometimes, I think it was Courtney who said, cheating the whole time. And it is awful. Um, they're not appreciative. Uh, and it gets confusing because sometimes they're appreciative in some things, but it's the supply. Yeah, the new supply pays the bills. The new supply this. You know, uh, I appreciate the things the maintenance guys do here. I'm not in love with them. I appreciate it. I kind of expect it in a sense because of the contract. Doesn't make me fall in love with them. They can appreciate the service, but it's a relationship and it's not bringing them closer. And hoovering. Now, are you referring to you or is she somebody else? Is she hoovering somebody else as well? Because she did hoover you. And we're going to have to touch base. Guys, let me know. And Samantha, this might not apply to you, but the others, holidays are coming. I'm Christian, so I got Christmas and New Year's. Secular people or religious people can do New Year's, or we got Hanukkah going on. And like I said, Kwanzaa somewhere around this time, I believe, and other ones too. Uh, watch out for the summer too. There's something about that summer sun changes like attraction levels, hormones, and all that stuff. Yes, somebody else is what you're saying. Um, sometimes it's multiple supplies, and it's interesting where they will blame the other partner for doing something, and it could be a legit uh, strike against the relationship, but they're doing it too. They don't mention that they're doing it too. And over time, things start to come out, or you'll overhear a different story to a different person. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not adding up. John says she hoovered me a few times, but I caught onto it immediately. Yeah, you were pretty spot on with reaching out to me. You were pretty devastated in the beginning, and then you're like, but this is the thing with you, John. If you don't mind me sharing, is you were like, I trust her. I don't trust her. I see through it. I'm leaving. I'm done. I trust her. I believed her. I was too emotional to see, and there's nothing wrong with what you felt. You felt what you felt, that you started justifying, because I was like, ooh, be careful, be careful. And you're like, no, I was wrong. I misjudged her. She apologized or whatever. And it gets confusing because we're kind people. We think if I apologized, I meant it. So we're putting our perception onto who they are too. It won't work again ever with her. Um, And you had asked me, but I'm going to ask you: do you secretly hope that it will work out with you guys if she changed? And all of you, is there some secret desire to get back with them? A lot of people are looking at all these self-aware, or even my videos, other people's videos, to see, is there a possibility in the future? Um, and I have one viewer who he's the one I did my video chat free giveaway. So if you watch this, comment below, you know it's you. I did a where Creatures of Habit. I put on my purple nail polish for school colors. He was the first one to recognize when I went back to the Creatures of Habit. Uh, and I gave him a free Zoom call. But yeah, you gotta stop going off on tangents. Because, yeah, it does. It messes up your brain. It causes brain damage. Plus, I just had COVID. I'm exhausted. My mom's in the hospital, all that stuff. Recently lost my dad and grandpa. So, stress can cause some brain damage too. So, I started saying that, with him, he was so focused on the hurt, and he just wanted to address it. Like, why did you hurt me, or why did you have to do this, or why couldn't we work on our friendship? And he's so honed in on kind of wanting an apology, or understanding the discard. And I told him, I said, if you ever bring that up again, it's going to crash that relationship. And so he says he's healthy, he's strong now, he can handle it. And when if I could talk to her, I would just want to. And I'm like, you keep going back to that negative. And it's going to ask the narcissist to take accountability, to care about your feelings, and they're not going to take that time. Sometimes, you could, in a sense, hear me out, work it out. But as soon as that trigger goes off, that whole relationship's going to collapse instantly. Uh, so we have to heal ourselves, because if it was to at least work out for a little while with him and his friend, uh, he's got to be healed to where it doesn't hurt. Okay, the past is the past, and if we move on, get rid of the triggers. But unless both people heal, it's not going to work. uh, and you can just he's too hurt uh, not to seek it out, or he's going to be too afraid that his friend's going to leave again, or he's going to be like, okay, I have to prove I'm not hurt, so I have to word it this way. That's walking on eggshells. They feed on that. They'll either get a kick out of your pain because it gives them an ego boost, um, and the cheating, the discard, and everything that goes on. Uh, it's all self-serving, that we get lost. And like you said, with the ghosting, we feel like we're dead. Um, to, to not even be acknowledged, you know. Sometimes too, some people where they date somebody once or twice, or they meet them at a restaurant, exchange phone numbers, and the person never calls. It's rude, but there's a difference in expectations. We've been in these year-long relationships with people, uh, and that's when it doesn't make sense. It's like we've been best friends or lovers or whatever, for husband wife, for how many years, and now you can't even talk to me. Like my first one, it's like, you know what time do you want to pick her up? It's like whatever time's fine. I just need to know. Not even making eye contact, or just treating you so disrespectful. It's crazy. It's very painful. um Mom says, have they? Oh, oh, yeah, that's true. um I was supposed to go to Florida and cancel my trip so I could hopefully spend Christmas with my mom. But because of the snowstorm, I'll probably be stuck at home. And she just brought up something really good, that she has a generator at her house, so there'll always be power. Man, that's something to think about. Hmm. I don't know if I have. Yeah, I have gas heat. That's all that matters. This is electric. Uh, I don't, or is it just a gas stove? I think it's an electric furnace. Oh, that's not good. I can't handle the cold. Um, hmm. What would you guys suggest on Friday? Do I take the 2-hour trip before the snowstorm? John, thank you so much for joining us. And sleep well, sweet dreams. And I will see you uh, maybe tomorrow, but depends on the weather, what goes on. Samantha says good night to John, and thank you so much for the likes, for the algorithm that helps me, and also the love that everybody's sharing. And Courtney says we keep seasonal people in our lives way too long, and that's such a beautifully important thing. Some people are seasonal, the fair weather friends, and that's really hard. And yeah, there are seasonal people. And Courtney says goodnight to John. And this was devastating. Like true love um, perseveres. And a lot of narcissists give up very easy. So John says, I have to go help a neighbor out. She just called me. I'll post your Christmas video when I get it back. It's going to be titled Happy Holidays, Cynthia. Hope you like it. See you next time. Good night. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. Looking forward to that. And Nathan saying good night. Um, so what were some of the red flags to the cheating that you guys noticed? Uh, Inconsistencies in their stories is often one. Cancellation of plans is also a red flag to that. And sometimes we can be our own lie detectors. Samantha says, I feel like a different person after finding myself, after losing myself in the relationship. Um, uh, so right now, do you feel, Samantha? I get what you're saying, but I kind of don't. So you feel like a different person after finding yourself, and then losing yourself in the relationship. Um, So do you mean you were growing and then you started losing yourself? Or are you saying you're back to growing? Um, I'm trying to see your thought process on that. So please clarify, because I do. Yeah, I feel like a different person too, to where I lost myself. I was being treated like I was dead. How the heck do you communicate with somebody when they treat you like you're dead? And it's the weirdest feeling, painful feeling, because it's almost like, you can imagine with somebody in a coma, if they're like, no, I'm alive, don't pull the plug, or whatever, and you can't communicate. uh, how traumatic that must be. Courtney says and Courtney says I could feel the detachment from him. He wouldn't remember anything I said. Yeah. And part of that's that brain damage that they have, you know, and we can kind of relate to it now because uh, that brain fog, things aren't sinking in as much. Um, and we got to take control of that. Try to really purposefully try to remember names, purposefully pay attention to certain details, uh, and help ourselves out, like just going to the store. I used to always get everything I needed. I needed shampoo and conditioner. I needed salad dressing, whatever it is. I I just knew. I never came home and like, dang it, maybe once or twice, but I was never like, oh, I forgot coffee. You know how many times I forgot coffee or dog food? Um, I forgot the list. So lists can help keep us on track, double check things, and uh, help our mind out by guiding it, and then it gets stronger. So yeah, that detachment just starts hurting, and then we start to hold on more. And once you hold on more, I analogize it. Is that a word? To where we're that drowning victim, and we're bringing our person down too. We're hanging on too tight, and they want to get away because they feel like we're pulling them down, and we're just like, we're like, we're not in water. Nice tight hug would help. It'll be okay, I promise. But it goes into that panic mode because of that trauma bond. And Samantha says, I'm definitely stronger than I was. Husband just wants me to be just like him, and we are very different. Yeah, and that's how those narcissist relationships are. I want to be a dick. I want to do it my way. But does he really want you like him? Maybe feisty or to argue, but he wants to be the winner. Does he really want you to be the winner? You can't both have it your way unless you agree on everything, and you're not going to. There's no way you're going to agree on everything. Um, even just little things. I want to be first for the shower. Well, you want me to be like you? I do. And granted, you could both do that. But so do you feel, Samantha, being stronger now, is that bringing you guys closer or further apart? Uh, and are the dynamics getting better or worse? So you said I had to deny myself. If that makes sense. I spoke to no one for fear of him saying I was cheating. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That isolation starts happening. You're walking on eggshells. You're changing your desires, your needs. And Samantha says, "Wow, I know about that. The detachment. That's very painful." The new supply is going to feel it too. Uh, Courtney says you can't explain what happened to us to people that don't understand. Exactly. They do not understand. They just don't get it. It's so nice to talk to people that lived it. Yeah, because it's like, obviously you guys screwed up, one of you, whatever, because you guys seem so in love. Yes, obviously somebody fucked up. Um, they don't get it. Or your friends are like, well, it's your fault for staying. Duh. They don't understand that trauma bond. Samantha says, because I will tell him plainly and not tiptoe around him. He doesn't like that. And he retali- retaliates by devaluing you. Um, yeah, and I'm glad you said that. This is something people listen to what she just said. Let's take this apart. She's nice and calm. Yeah, I'm not going to tiptoe around you. This is what's up. And he doesn't like that, and he retaliates by devaluating her. Um, yeah, plain and simple. He doesn't like that you're not tippy toeing. They don't like it when you do that either. Can't win with that. But they don't like the I'm not taking your bullshit, and you can say it calmly, like, look, I've had enough. Treat me right. You just got to start doing that. And when you say even something like that, it's like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm done. Not talking to you, not having sex with you, whatever it is, not cooking for you. Um, you see it too. It's like, fine, you know, you don't, they'll get so mad that, they could go to things like turning off the electric, even if they live in the house. They're like, I don't know, I'll make her life hell. Um, just different things like that. And it's interesting how we're like, but I love them. And I get it. I get where you guys are coming from. I still love both of mine. But, people talk about low self esteem, and they also talk about we were in love with um, a fake person, you know. And I kind of related to the kids, it technically is like a fake person, a facade, but it's also somebody who's immature, just like kids. Uh, the kids do crazy things, and it's not that we don't love our kids. You know, we don't like the way our kids act sometimes. We don't like the way the narcissist acts, but uh, in a narcissistic relationship, somebody's going to end up the child. Um, because of the injured person that the narcissist is, they will overpower us. If they don't overpower us, uh, and we overpower them, it knocks them down. They don't meet in the middle. They don't meet in the middle. They don't compromise. And if they take our power and feel lowered, they're just going to act like a child more and more and more. The more power they feel on them, the more pressure. Courtney says, I noticed when my ex would try to get me to argue with him, I simply would just keep saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. He got so aggravated with me because I just wouldn't argue over stupid stuff. Yeah. Yep. And it's good that you didn't say, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Um, be, sometimes, if we scream at somebody and they were scared, then we have to say, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. So there are times, but, uh, because sometimes it can be abusive to say it that way too. But if they're acting that way, we don't have to take on blame that we didn't do. So, depending on the situation, is how you have to word it. But uh, yeah, you were wording it where um, you're not taking the blame. And a lot of times too, it's the narcissist will try to blame shift. So in that instance, you worded it the right way, but the narcissist will come back with that kind of wording. Uh, they cheated. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. Uh, or I'm sorry. It's so confusing. And it comes naturally when you're in the situation to how you're going to respond to it. You evaluate all the things, and your mind works really quick. Um, and that's what I was trying to say with the word patterns. Their word patterns are from an abusive upbringing. So their word patterns are more ingrained. Uh, you know, hang out with people who say, holy smokes. Eventually you're going to start saying holy smokes. You're like, why am I saying holy smokes? I never, like, I purposely didn't want to say that, or certain things, you know, or doing something like that. Maybe now you're going to start doing something silly. Like, why am I doing that? You know, there's a lot of mirroring that goes on in life. That's how we learn, you know. Um, but ladies, I'm going to send you lots of love, and I'm not sure who's still here. I got Courtney and Samantha. Nathan, are you still here? You got a little quiet on us. Listen to the ladies chat. But I know John went to bed, and oh, Nathan. Oh, I feel bad. I didn't see. Well, you might have been saying goodnight that you're leaving. Now I got 3 people in the room. But if you guys can help me out and don't have to do it right now, if one of you could let me know if the recordings are visible on your end when I try to troubleshoot, I see it, but the numbers aren't making sense. So thank you guys. Topic requests are always welcome. Please stay safe if you are going to have that winter storm, and stay safe even if you aren't. Have a happy holiday, and I'll see you in the next live chat. Stay safe. Uh, and yeah, sending some love to Nathan if he's still here. All right, guys, I'm signing out. You're welcome, Samantha. I will see you again soon. And I'm glad you're stronger. But I think you recognize how it's changing the dynamics. You might feel good, and that's what matters, you know. Uh, you're welcome, Courtney. And Samantha sends Courtney love. But you're starting to feel more empowered because, you know, you're getting yourself back. Um, so that's good. That's good. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Sleep well. Good night.